Hello everyone, welcome to yet another very important video on SQL this time. So today we are going to see the top 25 frequently asked interview questions that one must definitely know. Okay, so irrespective of technology that you are going to attend interview for, this is something that we definitely need. Like assume even though you are attending interview for Tableau or for Power BI, SQL is one knowledge that everyone wants to test you in. So for that, these are some important questions that are expected to come in the interview. So I suggest start from here. Okay, so there is very high probability that the questions might come from this. So let us directly get started and let us see what are the questions here. So first, let us see a very basic questions like how can we display the number of records in a table, or he might ask you like what is the total volume of your table, or like how many number of records that we have. So for this we can use a simple statement called as select count star, which will give us the total number from your table name, or you can write the table or you can write the table name, anything is fine. So or suppose if at all you want to show, or interviewer ask you to show some sample records, then we can write it as select star from table name, so which will give sample rows to see. Next is what is the command used to display first five characters of a string. Okay, so again very important interview question, which can be derived using a function called as a substring. So substring is one function that is available in SQL, which can be used. So here if you see select the substring, so I'm using the substring function from a column name, like student name is my column name or my field name. So from that, from first to five. So first five letters I am taking from this student name as the table. Sorry, I am deriving that as student name from my table. Okay, so let us write it again. Select substring is my function, and in that I'm calling student name as my column name, and in that I want my first five characters as, I'm deriving that as a student name. I'm deriving that field as student name from my table called as a student. Okay, this is something that is important, we need to remember. Or we can also use left as function. So same here, select left of student name, and we need five from the left side, and student name same, deriving it as student name from the student table. So next important question is, again this is very important, one must know the difference between these three. What is the difference between delete, truncate and drop statements? We should definitely know. Most of the interviews they will ask this question. So delete means like it is a conditional operator which will delete based on some condition that you are specifying, like delete from candidates, where candidate is my uh, table name, where candidate id is the column name, which is greater than 1000, which means I'm deleting all the candidates whose id is greater than 1000. So this is something that is derived. Truncate, so truncate command is used to delete all the rows from your table, but it is not deleting the table, it is only deleting the data inside that. Something that we need to remember. So drop is completely dropping the table, so remember that. So delete means based on some condition you want to delete the record, then you can use delete statement. Truncate means removing the entire data from the table but not the table. Drop means that deleting the table itself is drop. So command for that is delete from candidate, where candidate is equal to 1000 is for delete. Truncate table, table name is for truncate, and drop means drop table, table name. So very similar functions, but we should know. Next important question, again one must definitely know, is what is difference between having clause and where clause. Very important. Okay, so in an interview he might ask you what is when will you use a having clause and when will you use a where clause. So what we need to remember is having clause is only used with a group by clause that we need to use. So if you tell you are using a having clause in that statement, we should definitely have one group by condition, then only it is possible to use a having clause. Okay. Next is how to get distinct records from a table. Very important. Suppose he asks you to get distinct managers or distinct departments from a table. So here this syntax or the function that we need to use is distinct is one function. So select distinct of your column name from your table name. Select distinct departments. So it will list out all the distinct departments. How to get highest salary from table. So select max is one aggregation that we can use directly. So select max of salary from employee detail, which will give us the maximum salary that an employee has. Same way we can use it for minimum. If at all I want to get minimum salary. Again, like some from this one, having clause and where clause is important. Distinct function is important. Max and min are important. Next important is how to create a table from an existing table. Again, one of the very frequently asked interview question. So very simple statement, create table, new table name you have to write as select a star from existing table. So what does this create? It will create a new table copying the contents from your existing table. Suppose you only have to create or you only want to create an empty table from an existing table, then same we can use this, but only a small operator we have to write or a condition we have to write where 1 equal to 2. So why I'm giving this is one standard condition which will always be false. So 1 cannot be equal to 2. So what will happen? Every record it will check, and because for all of the records that are available in table, every record will fail, and hence it will only create an empty structure. So this will create an empty table. How to create empty table from an existing table? Same, create a table, new table name as select star from existing table name where 1 is equal to 2. So if at all you want with data, then you can use this statement. Without data, simple where condition we have to write. Next is again joins. Joins is one very important concept that we must definitely know. So in any interview you go, there will be at least one or two, or maybe more than two interview questions. That might come. So first might be like I was asked this question, same question in TCS and maybe in Value Labs also. What are the different types of joins available? Write the SQL for them. Same question I was asked. So inner join, left join, right join, and full join. We know these are the four types of joins available in Tableau. So inner join means only common records here. So how do we write a join statement here? Select star from table A, join table B. Simple. Only when you are using a left to join, you have to specify it is a left to join. Select star from table A. So I am aliasing that as A so that in future, if at all I want to bring any columns from that table A, I can directly use A dot column or B dot column like that. So select star from table A, left to join table B on A dot column is equal to B dot column, which means one. So to get the data from two tables, what is the one common or standard uh, condition that we need to remember? That there should be at least there should be at least one common column between two tables, then only join is possible. So you need to remember this point. So here I am matching that on the column is my common column that is available in both tables. So just the standard, this is the standard syntax. Only the type of join will change and the output will change based on what you are using. You see, select star from table A, right join on the column, full join on the column. Okay. So what is cross join? Again, one commonly asked question. So like he will tell in table A, I got two records, and in table B, I got three records. What are the total records I will get when I do a cross join? Simple, you need to multiply those two tables or records. Like, 2 into 3 is 6. It is basically cross join means Cartesian product of two tables. You need to remember this point. C for cross, C for Cartesian. Remember this point. So next is write a query using group by and having clauses. So I generally ask this question like write a query using where, group by, and having three clauses in one SQL query. So this is something that we can use. Select count of students. Now I'm finding out how many number of students are there in the country India, having count of student 5, something like this. Select count of students, comma country, which means for every country I will get count. Okay, from students is my table where country is equal to India. So I'm finding out for India only, again group by having country, count of student is equal to 5. Something, because I have already derived an aggregated function here, I am using it in the having clause. Next important question again, what is difference between union and union all? Very important thing to remember, or we should definitely know. The difference between union and union all is, union all means we will also get duplicate records here. Union means it will eliminate the duplicates, that we need to remember, and this is something that we need to specify. So how can we union two tables, and what is the common condition that we need to remember? The table structure that you're trying to union should be same, then only union is possible. Select name from students, union. Select name from contacts, I'm doing union here. Same for union all. Instead of union, you will use union all. Select a name from students, union all. Select a name from contacts, like that. Next is a simple query, which is used to see how you know the wildcard characters. So the query was like, write a query to get list of employees starting with R. So select a star from your table name where employee name like R percentage, because I want to uh, find out the list of employees starting with R. After R, I am giving percentage symbol here. Okay. So next is write a SQL query to get the third max of an employee table. So this is one common question, that arrives in almost every interview. So we should definitely know more than one way to answer this question. Okay. So you can by heart if at all you want to by heart, or you can practice it by writing multiple times. But you should definitely know answer for this. So here I have listed out three ways: using limit, using subquery, and using top function. We can use these three to find out the top nth salary of an table. Okay. So next is, how do you remove duplicate rows in SQL? One common question that arrives in almost every interview. Okay. So we can use these functions: delete from table name, where id in. So I'm writing my actual query here. Select id comma count of id, which means what it will do, for each of your id it will display how many number of records are available from your table. Group by id I'm doing, so that's why, because I'm doing an aggregation on id, I'm doing a group by on id. Having count of id greater than 1, which means any record which is having an aggregation or count of that id is more than 1, it will delete that record. Okay. So what are constraints here? Constraints means like it is they are conditions basically. So what type of conditions you are putting on the columns? Okay. So like not null. So I want to have, like, say employee id is there. So I don't want this column to be empty. So I can specify a not null constraint, or I have like say employee ID is there, that should be unique, so I'll apply unique condition. So employee name is there, then that will be my primary key. Something like that we can specify on the columns that we have in tableau in SQL. Okay, very important things to know about the data. Next important question is, what is the difference between and in operator? Very important thing again, so we must definitely know this. Between means, like say select star from students, again table, students is a table name, where roll number between 10 and 15, which means I'm getting all the list of students who are between 10 and 40. So we are giving a range here basically. Whereas in is a conditional, like we can specify only those roll numbers, or I want to specify or get the list of students who are in specific roll numbers. So that is the difference. So between is range, where in means we will specify what all the roll numbers we need or what are the columns we need, like that. Okay, so how can you select unique records from table? Again, one important uh, concept to understand and remember. You can do that using distinct words. Suppose I want to get unique students ID, or unique names, or unique departments from my table, then I will use this distinct keyword to get that information. Select distinct student ID from my table, so I'll get unique student IDs. Suppose if I tell I want to get a distinct departments, then what I will write, select distinct department name from department table. Or suppose I want to find out distinct manager, then I will write select this distinct manager from manager table. Like that we can write. Okay. So how to fetch common records between two tables? Okay. So here again, something that we need to remember is, whenever we are trying to fetch this type of data, your data type of the column that you want to fetch should be same. Then only it is possible. So here what I'm doing, select student ID from table 1. Intersect is the function that we are going to use, or the operator that we are going to use on the second table, select student ID from table 2. So it will try to find out what are the common records using this intersect function in these two tables. Okay, so common student IDs you will get. And next important question is, how to fetch alternate records from a table? Very important. So there is very high probability that you will get this type of question. So it can be like, whether interviewer might ask, like, he want to see alternate records, like he want to see even numbers or odd numbers. It can be anything, but it can be one among this. So how can we do? So suppose I want to list out student ID. So what I'm doing, select student ID from my table name, or you can directly write table name also. It is okay. So I'm taking select row number comma student ID from student, where I'm using a function. So in this entire SQL, what is important? This mod function is important. Okay. So mod of row number. So here, if you see, I'm deriving one row number. So row number is nothing but like an index function in SQL that we in Tableau that we have. So it will generate 1, 2, 3, 4, and all. So what will happen? Like when each record are getting executed, your query will work like this: mod of 1 comma 2 is equal to 0. So it will test that again. Mod of 2 comma 2 is equal to 0, like that. So it will become true. Mod of 3 comma 2 is equal to 0. This will become false. So only those which are true will pass, like that. So same, if at all you want to get odd numbers, you can use same function, but here you will use 1. So whenever this is divided by 2, it will result 1. right? So that is how this mod function works. So based on that, we are either displaying even numbers or either we are displaying odd numbers. So next important is how to write a query to display the number of employees working in each region. Again, this was the question that was asked to me in I think value labs, I think. So simple, very important. Or he might ask you like, give me write a query to find out total number of employees working in each department. Write a query to list out the employees working in each department. This was the question. So how will you write basically? So region. So he has taken one random column here, count of this thing, or you can write anything, or you can write count of students, or I'll write say employees from employee group by region. So in this way, what will get region wise count of employees. So in each region, how many employees are there from this table group by region. So why I'm using region group by region? Because I want to find out number of employees working in each region like that. That is why I'm using this. And because I have an aggregate function here, I'm using only this in my group by. I'm not using count of employees. Suppose if at all you want to find out distinct, again you can use distinct, count distinct also. Okay, like that. So again, what is the difference between now and current date? So I mean, important but not that frequently asked, but still we need to know. So now means again same with the timestamp. Current date means only today's date. So something that we need to remember. Or with the timestamp or without the timestamp. Today's date only, both will result in today's date, but one is with timestamp and another one is without timestamp. So yeah, I think how to delete duplicate rows in again SQL. So I think we have discussed this. So simple, select column name count of this as duplicate from employee table group by column number, having count of that is greater than 1. So wherever there are more than, like, there are multiple records for each entry, obviously the count of those records will be greater than 1. So we'll directly find out that like that. Okay, so I think that's it from my side in this video. I hope you find this video useful. If you like it, please like, share and subscribe. Thank you. Have a good day. Bye bye.